Hello everyone, welcome to the Across the Park instant match reaction. First of all, apologies for the slightly unorthodox setting and for not bringing you an instant reaction from outside the grounds. Unfortunately, everything conspired against us tonight, and simply I just didn't have anyone to do it with me or anyone to record. But nonetheless, I'm going to bring it to you anyway. I'll bring you my reaction. It's Everton 1, Tottenham Hotspurs 1. Where do we start? I mean, it's hard, first of all, for me to decide whether I'm delighted with that draw, because, you know, Michael Keane scoring a goal is a treat in itself, but the goal he scores was something special, and I celebrated it like it was a winner. Yet, I come out to that ground half thinking, without the sending off, that was a poor Tottenham side, a poor Tottenham side, and Abdoulaye Doucouré's gifted them a chance to win that game, a chance that they shouldn't have really had. But nonetheless, listen, I think before the game, going into the game, and if you watched the show during the week, I was one of the people who believed that a point today or tonight would be a good result, and it would be a point that we would look back on and be thankful for. But nonetheless, I think at half time, you're looking at it thinking we were the better side. I think, if I'm honest, aside from 5 minutes when Doucouré was first sent off and they got that penalty where we went into our shells a little bit, understandably, I think, shocked by the sending off. We sat really deep and we invited them on. Apart from those 5 or 10 minutes, I thought we were the best side for the whole game. I thought we were the best side in the first half. And I thought once they scored and we started getting on the front foot again, I thought we were the best side then when it was 10 versus 11. Lucas Moura's sending off, gives us a chance to maybe gives a bit more belief to the players that we can get a result. But yeah, I can't decide whether that's a point gained or for that reason 2 points lost. But listen, I think what I have got to say is how the spirit and belief of this team has turned around since Sean Dyche's come through the door. I mean, you're looking at the players who come off the bench and they're not particularly inspiring subs. Even James Garner coming off the bench and he's full of energy. Tom Davies, I don't think I've seen him run like that or play like that in that manner for a good few years. So credit the manager for what he's done there and credit him for getting the belief in those players and getting Michael Keane to believe that he can shoot from 30 yards out. I mean, if there's anyone in that stadium tonight who didn't say no when he was about to shoot, then fair play to you, because I was certainly one of those who was screaming and pleading with Michael Keane not to pull the trigger. But when he did, wow, that ball didn't half stay hit. And I think I joked to one of the lads behind me saying he needs to just hang his boots up now because he's never going to hit a better ball in his life. But yeah, listen, I'm immensely proud of the players, immensely proud of the fans again, because the way that atmosphere just turned when we could, fans could feel that Tottenham were rattled a little bit, and they went to bits. I mean, I'm not a Tottenham fan, I'm not here to talk about Tottenham, but they didn't half play into our hands there, knocking it round to the back from the first whistle. We jumped all over them from the first whistle on that, and then they continued to do it when we were down to 10 men. It's just like they wanted us to get back into that game. They're a bang average side for me at the moment. They're not on paper. They've got some good players. Obviously, Kulusevski, Keane, Son, Højbjerg. They have got some good players, but they're a poor side, them, at the moment. And that's the part for me that makes me slightly disappointed that we didn't get that win. In terms of the sending off, we've got to talk about it. I think it was soft. However, you raise your arm in the modern game and you're asking for trouble. I don't think VAR would be in a position to overturn the referee's decision because he does raise his arm. I've seen the replay. It is soft. Harry Kane doesn't half make a meal of it, but would one of our players have made a meal of it? Someone like Demarai Gray, I'm fairly certain he would have done so, despite the fact, I was screaming that Kane is a cheat. The reality of it is, if you raise your arm in the modern game, as I say, I think you're asking for trouble, and he got it. And it's disappointing now. We're now going to be missing Doucouré, who's been an important player for us for a good few games. I think the penalty, I sit in the park end and it looked a penalty all day for me. I haven't seen the replay, but I haven't heard anyone saying, that who has seen the replay, that it wasn't a pen. I think it's a little bit it's a silly one where I think it's Keane. I'm sure it's Keane or Tarkovsky. I think it might have been Keane. Who's just kind of swung out, and it was a one where the player was always going to go down. But again, I think from when they scored, that shook us back into action again, and we were unlucky not to get the win in the end. I think once we got that goal and got level, we looked like we were going to get the win, and there was a little bit of a scramble in the box at the end where it just looked like it might go for us. But again, I can't help but credit the spirit of that team. Again, the decisions of the managers. He took 2 players off there, Guy and Anano, who I thought played well today, and he brought Garner and Davies on, and it just gave us a bit more energy again. They weren't changes that I think most of the fans would have been calling for, but they worked. Ellis Sims again has come on and done a sterling job up there, held the ball up, got his head on a few, and caused problems. So I think it's a. On the balance of play, I think we deserve to win the game. But on the basis that we went 1-0 down and went down to 10 men, I think it's a good point, and you've got to take it that way. Psychologically, to come from a goal down with 10 men and to come out of the bottom 3 is a massive one for the players, and I can only take heart from that. But that's it. 6 minutes. I've done well there. 6 minutes on my own in the car. But thanks for tuning in again. That's the inter-match reaction. Myself, Judgy. It's Everton 1. Tottenham Hotspurs 1, up the fucking Toffees.